Back to the dumbass class with me, the Dyslexic Gamer, and I have managed to coerce my online friends into allowing me to stream this.
Förlåt som har uppstått. He's back.
I swear down, so this keeps happening to me. For some reason, even though Twitch is on mute, it plays adverts through my headphone at full volume. It's quite annoying. But that's stopped now. So when we last left off, our party had come to a farming community to investigate a goblin attack. They had found out that there was no goblin attack. It was a ploy by the village community leader to steal the land. He had managed to rile up the villagers to believe that the young girl and wife, who both had red hair, were witches. They were not, but they were killed for it. But fortunately, our adventurers did not have to get their hands dirty, as a vengeful spirit of the family dog decided it wanted vengeance and basically slaughtered most of the town. Our group has been getting ready for nightfall. Some of them have set up tents to sleep in. Others have gone on a little bit of a wander to see what's going on, and that's where we take up. So by all means.
Small questions. Were these two farms literally the only two things in this entire town?
Yes, it was these there are some more fields, but it's mainly these two farming communities. Yeah.
Okay, well, this is going to be an interesting report.
Also, why are there these people here?
What, all the corpses?
No, near me.
Okay, so Mr. Billy Bob decided, as night was falling, that he would actually, rather than sleep outside in a tent, he wandered off into the former elder's house. Their two labourers, who the party have hired to help them do mundane tasks, also thought this was quite a good idea. So they are sat at the table and are enjoying their rations. So was there anything the party wished to do? I know Miss Lysiara had waited for night to fall to do some things and to speak to some spirits.
Yep, as soon as nightfall came, I would go out to the fields, look out the ice, and then I would go basically just stay with the spirit dog and just, I don't know, try to learn more about it. Yay for spirit dog.
So as you approach the small graveyard for this community, you would very quickly see the spectral hound, the Grim, laying down on its master's tomb. It appears to be at peace. It almost doesn't even notice you as you approach it. But as you walk up to it and inform it that you're behind it, it does speak to you.
If he's laying down and just resting, I'll return the rose I picked up, say a prayer, and I forget the name of the Elvish language, in Eltharin, and then I'll just lay there and be there, pretty much. I'll spend the night there with the dog.
Okay. As you spend the night with the Grim, you engage in some conversation. It's quite interested in the fact that you understand it. It thanks you for not getting in its way and allowing it to seek vengeance for its family.
Okay.
It would also point out that it does not have a mortal tie to this place anymore. Its body was burnt in the fire, and it doesn't know if it can leave this place. If it were to leave now, it doesn't think it would be able to get out of the community. You would need to find something of its in order to help it leave or to carry on its journey.
Ooh. Did anyone pick the collar up?
No.
Don't think so.
I will tell him that in the morning I will try to go pick up his collar. Maybe that could help.
As you say that, its ears prick up and it sits up. It tells you that that collar was given to him by the master of the house, and it's its only treasured possession other than its family.
Okay. I'll go pick it up, I guess. Actually, I can go even now, but I will ask for him to accompany me. After all, it's nighttime, and evil always lurks in the night, so I'll go help find the dog's collar.
Seeing as you aided it in telling your comrades not to get involved, it is more than happy to accompany you, especially as it can move freely in this community, and it does. It follows you to the house. It stops at the border of their land, and you can tell it seems to get very depressed and melancholy, but it carries on walking with you. You know where the collar was found, so it wasn't moved, so it would still be there.
I'll pick up the collar and offer it to him. And if it is possible to give the collar to him, I'll give the collar to him. Otherwise, I'll tell him that if he wants, he can help me on my journey, and I'll help him on his.
He tells you that in his form now, he has no use for it. It is something that he treasures, but he cannot interact with it. So he informs you that if you can make use of it somehow, he is more than happy for you to take it.
Okay, I'll take it. Can I roll arcane knowledge to see if I can find a way to bind the spirit to the collar and not to the land?
Yes, you can do that.
Okay.
So, we last one. Like, internet crash last one.
Who? Oh, Dylan. I'll roll this and wait, I guess. God damn it.
It's not a massively difficult test, so even with your failure, you would know that you could. It is possible. You don't out of your memory at the moment, you can't tell what spell, what ritual would be needed, but this would definitely be a chain that you could bind it with. This is something of its, so it would be used in a ritual, but you don't know what ritual that would be.
Okay. Can I go back with him to the graveyard where it's a place where he's comfortable? And
Sure.
stay there with him, and while there, I'll try to remember the spell or the ritual.
Yep, sure, you can do that.
So, throughout the night, I'll try to do academic knowledge again. So, tell me when I can reroll, I guess.
Sure, you can re-roll now, and we'll count that as half the night, essentially.
Okay. Oh yeah, boy.
You would know that the ritual for... It's not for binding a spirit. This would be a ritual to create a familiar. And in fact,
Okay.
it's more of you would be binding the creature to the item. And the item would... The person who holds the item would be its master. So once the ritual has been performed, as long as you had possession of the item, it would be bound to you.
Okay. I'll tell him that, but just let me check something. Would I be able to do this now, even though I can't technically bind him, unless I roll I need weeks with him to bind him to me?
You won't be able to bind him to you now. However, with that roll, you would know that if you were to take the collar to another graveyard or another area where the dead have been put to rest, he would be able to stay there. He would be able to move to that location. It would not be nearly as complicated of a ritual. It would be essentially you would take it to the graveyard and create a small shrine there for it, and then it could be much closer to your location.
Okay. I'll tell him that and I'll keep it in mind. Notes. Okay.
Is there anything anyone else would like to do? Because this has taken a few hours of Miss Lysiara spending time with the
Yeah,
hound.
but this is at night, right?
So we've basically moved time along for Miss Lysiara. When she walked off, the sun was definitely setting. It was about maybe an hour and 15 minutes, so she would have got to the graveyard as night was falling. So you guys have got an hour to do anything in daylight, and then it will be nighttime.
All right. I look over at Miss Warhammer. So, what would you reckon we still need to do around here? Should we bury the corpses?
I mean, the way I see it, just throw them on the one pile and shove some dirt on it. Alternatively, we could burn them.
That way also preventing any necromancy. I like the idea of burning them. I believe burning them would indeed be the best course of action.
Let's burn them then.
Alright. Let's give him a good funeral pyre. So we go to
Why
gather
are the
up all the bodies.
corpses headless? You
Uh,
pointy-eared son of a bitch, what did you do?
I just took their heads and placed
So
them
as we-
somewhere.
Okay, so as we go to fight the corpses, it's like, none of them have it. That is
Yeah.
okay.
No, it's not. It's deeply disturbing.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
You would all probably know that headless corpses cannot be brought back as zombies. So that is one way to stop necromancy from affecting the
Yeah,
bodies.
let's burn them for good measure, I say.
Better safe than sorry, in case some inventive necromancer comes along and tries to do something a bit differently.
Seriously though, what's with the head?
Don't. Finger wigglers are weird. Finger wigglers is the term you use for mages, right?
Yes.
Yes. I know most people think that all of my people are interested in magic. Trust me, we are not. I am a living example of that. But yes, it is common that we, well, my kind does that thing, even though she technically is not fully of my kind.
Are you sure you just didn't have a dwarf in the family somewhere?
I don't know, I just hung out with dwarves a lot. What I hinted towards was that she's not fully of the same people as I am.
So, I don't know. She looks pretty pointy.
Oh, she is an elf. She's just not of the same culture.
Filthy non-noble.
She is, as far as I can tell, from one of the woods. Whereas I was originally born on the the homeland of the elves. Let's put it that way.
Good
Although
for
I
you,
did not
guess.
spend, I did not spend there long, if any time that I can remember at all. My parents moved to Marienburg shortly after.
Hey! Don't tell. You're Marienburger too.
Technically, yes.
Could have fooled me.
It's not like I stayed in Marienburg myself long. After a while, I started to take up a job as a messenger, and I've been doing that for quite a while now. Some would say I've been doing that an entire human lifetime.
Somehow I believe that.
Yes. Thing with my kind is, we don't die of old age. We die because we have gotten too bored. And yes, that is quite literally why we die.
That's one incentive to have a adventuring lifestyle.
Yes. Although that does not necessarily prolong it too much. Assyrian has made it so that our people will eventually all just want to die.
That is quite silly.
I never said that the gods are not silly. Personally, I like the Dwarven Pantheon better. But oh well. In any case, should we make sure that the fire doesn't spread too much? Like, I know it's not gonna spread too much, but if the grass catches fire and catches fire a bit too much, it could reach the house. And I do
Yes.
believe in a way that Brando would rather have this place repopulated than just abandoned.
Yes, let's not burn the house down just yet.
So would Billy Bob.
Yeah, Billy Bob, if you now look through the window, you can see a giant pile of bodies burning outside.
I'd probably be fat and asleep right now.
And as our group begins to be very fire safe and make a mud barrier around the fire so that it cannot spread, the smell of burning flesh begins to truly stink.
Two steps to fixing it. Roll over, put blanket overhead.
Halfling proceeds to fart.
I go grab my keg out of the cart and just take a mug out. And just sit outside watching the fire from a distance in front of my tent and just take a sip.
And as the night progresses, the fire burns down, our adventurers sit down for a meal and get some well-deserved rest. And in the morning, I believe the first who would be up would be Lysiara, who is currently outside in a graveyard with a spectral dog.
Oh, get the doggy. Goodbye, and I'll return to the farm.
I would imagine that this would be about dawn time, so many of you would naturally beginning to stir. Some of you would notice that there are at least 3 members who are not camping outside.
Oh, that is curious. Well, I guess if they really wanted to, they could. Is there really any? Am I talking to myself again, or is there anybody else awake here? I check if anybody else is awake yet, because I usually wake up at the crack of dawn.
You would see Bill and Ted, your 2 labourers. They have made their way out of the house and are currently going towards the well to wash their faces and wake up a bit.
I go back to my keg, take out my mug, fill it a bit, take a sip, pour everything else back in. And I walk to the well. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Azor. Morning, boss. How was last night?
Decent, no disturbance, no goblins, so truly confirms the story. In any case, let's just wait until everybody else wakes up, or force them to wake up if it gets too late, so we can get back on our way.
Within an hour, you would see Miss Lysiara making her way back to your location.
Oh. Good morning, Azureth. No, Ted.
Morning, Miss Lysiara. Yeah, morning.
I mean, what do you think we should do with these farm animals? Should we free them or just make sure they have enough food to last for a little while?
I'd say we make sure they have enough food to last. They are in their pens. I presume they are safe for now.
Won't they just get fat though?
Are you outside already?
No, I'm just saying out of character.
Okay, please, we're having an in-character conversation, so keep that in mind. Let's say we could do that for now. I mean, if they eat everything immediately, that would be troublesome. Multiple ways, but we don't really have the manpower to leave someone behind until Brand.
That is indeed true. Do I see any other farms around this main farm?
No, there's only the two sets of farm buildings. There are a lot more fields around the area, but the only farm buildings is the area that you're in and where the burnt down farmhouse is.
Well, I guess I do regret letting every single flee in terror. If these creatures die because they are left alone, it's... well...
Unfortunate, but if we let them loose, they'd most likely die as well.
Why don't we just, like, herd them with us and then sell them?
Are you out of bed yet?
If I overhear the conversation, then yes.
So, Mr. Azor, as you begin talking about what you should do with the animals, you see Billy Bob, his head sticks out from the window, about there, where the bedroom is that he's sleeping in.
Good morning, Billy Bob.
You know, animals are quite expensive.
But wouldn't that technically be stealing, Mr. Bill?
We'd be stealing from the area, and if Branda wants to be particularly nasty about it, he'd say we'd be stealing from the Raven Guard's property.
So, that guy's a bit of a fuck.
I'd advise you not to speak too much about the one person that gives us our jobs like that.
I
Did
was
I
sort
just
of birthed
notice?
out the window.
Did I just
and
notice Bill or Ted walking back? That's
That would be Ted.
Okay.
Ted went over and looked at the chickens and the cows and lambs, and you probably may have seen a bit of drool coming down his cheek. But then, after hearing about stealing from the Raven Guard, you hear a very loud, and he turns round and very sheepishly walks back.
I'll just start laughing and clapping out the window like as I'm leaning against the windowsill.
Let's just make sure there's enough food for the animals to survive a period of time. To make sure
Won't
that
they just shit themselves and die, or just eat really fast and get fat and die?
They're animals. They're smarter than your average halfling.
Mm,
And then I'll start clapping slowly.
I'll look at it. I'll look at the at Wilhelm. It does have a point, you know. We should at least take the horses with us and, well, tell Brenda about it. You're heading up north again anyway.
I mean, if we're going to stack up to Ravenholm and the... Not Ravenholm. Where were we based off again?
Siegfriedhoft.
Siegfriedhoft. I mean, we're going to be heading for Siegfriedhoft anyway.
Let's say we indeed take the horses. If nothing else, if the area is decided to be abandoned, at least they can serve the guard. And to be fair, my riding gear is still just in the back of the cart, because if one of these two can carry the cart, and I can actually ride my own horse for a change again. So I go to the pin where the horses are.
I'm gonna just. I'll follow Zurith and just observe because I have 0 animal handling.
So as you go over to the horses, you would note that they are both riding horses, which, Azor, you have a horse. You have a riding horse. You know that they're not cheap. Could you all roll me intelligence? If you have farming, you can roll that. If you have anything to do with law, you can roll that.
Do you get a bonus for rolling?
What kind of
farming, or-
law?
It would be anything academic to do with the law. I don't believe any of you do. You might.
Flat intelligence.
Miss Gabrielle, you know immediately that if you take these horses, that's stealing. You would also inform the group that examining the horses, they would have a branded mark on them to say that they belong to this area.
The horses we could just tie outside, but the animals.
Miss Lyciara, as a wood elf, you know that animals can live a long time on their fat reserves. Even these horses, if given enough food, they would be perfectly happy for a week or so.
Is this suddenly going to get repopulated in a week, though?
I doubt the weak part, seeing as it might
But
take a week.
People will be sent to look after them within a week.
Within a month, at the very least. I take a bit of grain and I go to feed one of the riding horses.
Holy
Also,
shit,
I
so
can't
that's
find it on
really
my
cool.
sheet. Where's farming?
Advanced skills for animal husbandry or animal care. For
There's animal
farming,
training, charm animal.
it'd be
Animal care. Animal care is a basic skill. It's the first skill on the main profile.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Oh, sorry, yeah, I'm wrong there. I think I was
Yeah.
looking at animal training. I was. Farming would
Yeah.
be on your under your talents. You go past your knowledge, and then you have your performance, trade, and other skills.
Yep.
If you don't have it, Billy Bob, you can do. I'll allow you to do it intelligence, and you'd have it as trained, so it'd just be your flat intelligence.
So say Billy Bob either has that or cook. Because halfling.
So you would know that the animals would be perfectly fine for the time that you're away. You all also know that there is a church not too far away, only a couple of days away.
Doesn't the church have ravens that they can send?
They do indeed.
That would make the process a lot quicker if they do.
Azurath will care for the horses. You take your horse and ride to the church.
Very well.
You'll be faster than if we walk alongside the cart.
I will need to take my rations and my food for my own horse with me for that period of time as well, so I'll pack those up and I'll be on my way.
Well, if we're staying for a few days, I guess I'll go back to my studies, and I'll go back to the spirit.
Very well.
Azurus, if you roll me your riding skill.
I first want to do something else before I start riding, though, and as I turn to Wilhelm and Gabrielle and say, don't let the halfling drain my keg. Keg's-on is almost there, and I want to at least be able to make a bit of a contribution.
Since we'll be staying here until you return, it'll stay in my tent then.
If
Thank
anyone
you.
looks at Billy Bob when you say don't let the halfling drain it, you'll just see my face like my eyes will sort of like almost close, and then my face will smile as if I'm daydreaming.
Okay, some riding skill. Bloody hell!
You got fortune.
I do have fortune. Do I want to spend it on this though?
It's only fitting that we ride into battle.
Well, I don't think you've actually got to ride your horse properly yet, have you?
Once, in the beginning of this game. Oh, yeah. No, I'm just gonna say because I haven't ridden my horse in a couple of days, it's something you sort of need to get accustomed back into.
Okay. So, riding a horse is a lot different to going in having a horse pull a wagon. You travel a lot faster. Your horse isn't pulling a massive wooden wagon for a start. You have failed, but it will take you a day to get to the church. So you will get to the church by dusk. The sun is beginning to set. You've got a couple of hours before nightfall sets in.
Okay. I walk my horse into the graveyard, to the small temple building in the middle. I get off, and I knock on the door.
Hello? how can I be of service? Mr. Azur, I believe. How can I help
So
you?
glad you remembered. There's a bit of a situation with the farmstead down south. Mainly that all its occupants are dead.
Oh dear. Would the reports true? Are goblins attacking in this area? He moves quickly to go and fetch a raven.
No. It wasn't goblins. It was something else. The initial assault was, as all evidence indicated, by the townspeople themselves. That the rest are all dead. A vengeful spirit.
Oh my. More look after them. I shall inform Brander immediately. I will have the raven take the message. Do you wish to rest here? I can provide lodgings and food for you and for your horse.
I will stay here for the night then, yes. But tomorrow I will return to my companions. They're currently making safe that the farmstead is safe in case goblins do show up, however unlikely that may be.
That is probably for the best. This is most dire news. But, well, at least it wasn't what attacked us here, I suppose. The raven will reach Sigfrihoft by not long at all. By all means, come in, sit by the fire, warm yourself.
My thanks.
So, as the night progresses, Azura, you sit back and enjoy a warm meal cooked by the priest at the temple, and your horse is well looked after. Is there anything that the rest of the group would like to do?
I'll spend
Keep an
some
eye out.
time with the dog.
Stop the halfling from draining the alcohol.
Just make sure there's no trouble.
You have little faith.
Make sure the animals are kept actually fed.
Make sure the halfling doesn't start eating from the animal pen.
I'm gonna roll my familiar thingy just to know how many weeks I'll need to spend with the dog. So it's 1d10 divided by 2 weeks. Okay, so oof. I need to spend 3.5 weeks with the dog before I can turn him into my familiar.
Okay, if you want to make a note of that in your character sheet, it is the 21st of that hideous name that I can't say, Brexit.
Like Brexit.
It almost is.
Is it
But it breaks them in
21st?
instead. Hey!
It's Brexit.
Are you counting after Azurif left or before that?
So
Because he-
essentially the morning that Azura left, excuse me, the morning that he left was the 21st.
Ooh. Okay.
So as you, as most of you move about the farm, Miss Gabrielle, you, Bill and Ted seem to be quite at home doing the farm chores that you may have done as a child. They certainly did, and there doesn't seem to be anything wrong. Can everyone give me perception checks as nighttime falls?
I'll try to fortune it.
I don't know why, but I can't find anything on the sheet ever.
Perceptions underneath career main profile. It's it's about equal in height with leap and that lot.
Mr. Billy Bob, as you watch your comrades and some of your workers get to work, you begin just looking around the area, and quite a distance away is the Hunger Woods. You know this because you had to pass there many weeks ago. You can see lights. They appear to be in the forest, but it's a very long way away. Could be foresters or hunters, but you don't see anything else in the area. There are just lights. It would basically be, you would probably say it's about a day and a half travel by cart. The woods is on more of a hilled area, which is why you can see the faint lights in the distance, but it's far too far away for that to be anything that would threaten you here.
I'll just stare at the lights untrustingly.
Do you let us know about them?
As soon as they get closer, yeah, or until I get bored at least. I'll let you know.
You spend an hour or so just daydreaming, smoking a cigar and looking at the lights. They are a very long way away, and they don't appear to be getting any closer. And as nighttime begins to fall, you all again gather round for a meal and settle down and get some rest. Mr. Azor, the priest of Moor, wakes you up very early. It's before dawn. He has a note, a message from Brand de Caligo. Mr. Azor, I apologise for waking you. Branda has replied.
What's the reply? I sit up, rubbing my eyes.
He is shocked at what you have found. He seems quite distraught, but he has told me that there will be people sent. They left late last night with some of the Raven Guard militia. They should be at the farm within a few days at the very least.
All right. At dawn, then, I shall return to my companions to tell them that we can pack up, leave some food for the animals so they will survive, and we'll head back to Secret Hall ourselves.
Very well. I apologise for waking you. There is still an hour or so before dawn. I will get breakfast on. And the priest leaves
Thank you. I do truly hope, by Isha, that the next place we visit is not ravaged by greed of man itself as well. I get up fully.
Okay. After your breakfast, if you'd like to give me a riding test, and we'll see how long it takes you to get back. Your horse and you seem to have mended. You are in an almost perfect harmony with each other, and it only takes you until just before midday to return. The ground seems firm, and your horse is happily galloping at full speed, with very little encouragement from you.
All right.
So did the halfling let everybody know about the lights?
Did they seem to get closer, or did they just stay there?
No, they stayed far in the distance. Not
As
at
long as
one
I could
point
see
they come
them.
close.
I would just continue to watch them until like 3 in the morning. I'm like, fuck it, and just go to bed.
It would probably be at around 12, 1 o'clock that you would note that the lights appear to... They either go out or they move into the Hunger Woods to a point where you can no longer see them.
Since I was spending my time in the graveyard with the dog, would I have even seen these lights?
I believe you failed your roll, so no.
Actually, I didn't roll.
Roll perception, and you'll see if you could have seen them last night.
Okay.
Yes, you would have seen the lights a long, long way in the distance. You would probably know that they are in the Hunger Woods, or at the very least at the edge of the Hunger Woods.
Okay. We'll make sure to keep an eye out for the Hunger Woods and see if anything else out of the ordinary appears there while we're away. I would also return to the farm during midday to see if Ezra is back and just talk to the rest of the party. And then, after, socializing, I would go back to the dog.
Sure. I imagine you would all be up and doing things, getting breakfast ready and whatnot, having a chat. You would all note that by just before midday, that Azorus would appear on his horse, and his horse is flying.
Holy shit, that's some nice mage.
Not literally.
I know, sorry.
Okay. The lights were coming from the Hunger Woods?
Yes. You would probably guess that the lights are, if they were pulling a cart as you normally do, they are at least a day's journey from your location, perhaps more.
Okay.
I take it I arrive now, or just a bit longer?
Azurus, you arrive. You can see some of your companions are doing farm work, and others appear to be lounging around, and some are not there at all.
I'd be doing farm work.
Good day.
The halfling either knows how to cook or he knows how to farm. Either way, he's helpful.
Good day. I'm back. The priestess sent a raven to Branda. Branda had already replied. New occupants are on their way, escorted by Raven Guard personnel.
So we just need to wait, then.
We could leave enough food with the animals and take off back to Secret of ourselves, if we'd want to. Unless something went wrong here, when I was not here.
Yeah, we all died.
Oh, well, good to know. I now have the ability to talk to spirits.
Unfortunately, we have to die along with halfling.
Yes. So, care to tell me how you died?
Well, it's a
Erotic
long,
asphyxiation.
story.
I'm sorry, out of character. What? What did I just hear?
I'm not dead. I don't know about that halfling after we're through them though.
No. So, did
You
anything
didn't
strange
hear
happen?
anything.
Did anything strange happen last night or not?
I don't think I saw anything. Did you see anything? In halfling?
I'm just like halfway through a bit of breakfast, and like as you look at me, I like look back at you. What
Did
if
I?
I did?
But would you care to tell us?
I wouldn't really care to, but if you want me to.
Please.
Just some lights, some passers-by.
Pass it.
To a remote village that merely works as a farm.
Yeah. Okay, it was a demonic ritual. Sorry, I just misremembered.
I doubt it's a ritual, but the fact that lights were moving by in such a sparsely populated area does concern me. Especially since if we leave, this farmstead has no defenders. The new occupants should be here in a couple of days, at most a week. If you are all okay with waiting, then we can.
If all of us aren't okay, or one of us, so I'm not okay.
Well, you can always walk back on your own. We won't stop you.
Yeah, you will.
Also, a small question. Did you ever drink the draught I gave you?
Yeah? Did you not see me miraculously heal?
No, I did not, as a matter of fact.
I thought elves are supposed to have good vision.
Yes. Because if you still have it, then I would very much like it back.
You know he's gonna take that the wrong way.
I think I left it on some plants back there.
I hate a day I'm no longer stuck with this bloody halfling if we could. Well, please,
Blame
show
the High Lord Gracious of Caligo. He's the one who made me stay with you.
Yes, and I will never forgive him for it.
I'm much
Me
more
neither.
inclined to not forgive you for your stupidity. Then again, the definitions of tolerance taught to me do very much simply state that it's the acceptance that some people will never be smart enough to become better than what they are.
I'll just sort of like look at everyone else and just sort of like with a confused face and say, tolerance, while rubbing the back of my head. I can still
Exactly.
feel your tolerance right now, mate.
Oh, no. My tolerance is very much clear in the fact that I haven't attempted to murder you twice now.
Yet, but you're pushing it.
I just sort of roll my eyes. Just be done with it. Stop teasing.
Unfortunately, that is not going to be the case. And if anything, I'd like to keep this grudge going a bit longer. Alright then. So, where is Luciara? Is she at the graveyard again?
I assume so.
I think so. She hasn't really been popping out of there.
Could be bathing in some river somewhere. Probably shouldn't interrupt. You're great. And I'll sort of like try and mock your accent.
If you must attempt to get yourself killed, don't do it from up there.
Question:
I'm downstairs at the table eating.
Is this the middle of the day or is this
Middle of the day, yeah.
later? Yeah, because Luciara would appear in the farmstead for lunch.
And then you would be off again.
Yeah, I'll
It's
just.
probably breakfast for me if I've got nothing better to do.
You're helping us keep the animals fed.
Oh yeah, okay. It's lunch then, but it's like only been a couple hours since I've been awake.
So it's brunch.
Yeah. It's more like second breakfast.
What about third breakfast though?
And fourth seas.
I don't think he knows about fourthsies.
Oh no, he does, but he doesn't have the meat pie that he needs to have fourthsies properly. I mean, he's a halfling, of course he knows what fourthsies is.
No, I meant everyone else. Especially the high elf.
Aren't you a bit too short for a high elf?
I meant the elf that's a high elf.
Have you heard of the high elves?
Aye.
That's in his voice.
So then we wait in case those lights or something.
Aye, I would agree. Also, I haven't had my ale today yet, so.
Would William know what a high elf is?
Yes, it's quite well established that there are two types of elves within the Empire, those of the woods and those of the high elves, because they have they have outposts and they work with humans in certain places. I don't think you know about the dark elves. I only think only one group of people know about the dark elves, I think. But yeah, you would know about wood elves and high elves. Their goods are traded amongst the Empire, for one.
I was gonna say that the
Would
Marine
there
might
be like
know
rumors
because
that go around town like about high elves? Like all of them do this, all of them do that?
There would definitely be stereotypes, and there would definitely be things that people know about high elves. And
You'd also have me seen break half of the stereotypes about high elves already.
yes, that would be something you would have definitely noticed. You would have noticed the difference between Azorus and Lyciara, and you would have also realised that Azorus doesn't seem to follow any of the stereotypes.
As opposed to you, who's following just about every single fucking halfling stereotype there is.
oh no, he's not offensive enough to follow all of them.
Quite
He's,
yet.
he's also not using Cockney rhyming slang constantly.
So what you're saying is that halflings are basically chavs.
Take a chav, give it more horse slang, and then make sure that no matter what they do, they change the slang they use every 5 minutes, and they eat like a horse. You're about halfway to a halfling.
Good God, the stereotype of the halflings is brutal in this game.
It really is.
Well, we have a living proof of that stereotype, though.
He's just a little bit weird. He means well.
Have you not played Blood Bowl and heard what Bob says when
No.
they're all when you've got to be
No.
surrounding the ball carrier? He says that they're on him like a halfling on a hot dinner.
Nope.
No, in any case, let's
Can I go up to the high off and say, I thought you were all just a bunch of hotheads who were always burned out.
You don't need
Nice
to ask
one.
me to do that. You can just do it.
well,
I thought you were all a bunch of burned out freaks anyway. Like, it's in the name.
some of them are. And with that, I just give a smile and slap you on the shoulder. Some of them are indeed. Same as I'm sure that is most definitively halflings even more offensive than you.
I didn't think I was that offensive. You're all just fucking boring.
Within 5 minutes of knowing you, I understood why some towns have the celebrations. Now, you're
I'll
not
just
as
continue
bad as they could be, as you could be, but I understood why. After all, if there's those that are worse than you, then at least some of that celebration is justified. Yes, Gabrielle's damning him with faint praise.
How do you damn someone with that?
It's like when it's like, they're nice, and they're nice, and it's like you can't really like say a good thing about them.
It's like a backhanded compliment.
I mean, I can roll charm if you want to see if your character picks up on it.
Do-do-do-do-do.
Would I arrive while they're having this discussion?
That's entirely up to you. If you wish to appear now, it is around 12 o'clock.
I would appear during lunchtime, so if I do see this, I would just shake my hand and I can see the love and friendship in the air. I'll just Zureth, you're back. Any news?
Branner is sending people to repopulate.
Good, good. Also, did anyone else notice the lights that, well, were in the Hunger Woods?
That one did. Pointing at the halfling that's probably gone back to stuffing his face.
Well, at least some of us are perceptive. Did you just see the lights too, Mr. Bill?
Well then, in any case, due to the lights, I think it might be recommended that we stay here until the new inhabitants arrive.
Can everyone roll me? Actually, I don't need to. You don't need to. You would all know that when you left with the merchant caravan, you went past the Hunger Woods. There is a road that runs along there. There's also a lot of logging that goes on in the Hunger Woods.
Ah,
We knew that the entire time, apparently.
You did travel along that road, so...
Possibly traders then.
Yes, but would a logger still be working at 12 o'clock at night when the sun's gone down? When it's not exactly safe to do log work because, you know, trees.
I mean, maybe they're not cutting trees. Maybe they're just transporting the trees.
You don't travel at night.
There are some crazy people out there.
Azura, you know because you were told this morning that Brander sent a group from Siegfriedhoft during the night.
Mm-hmm. But that wouldn't have been the group they could see because that would be too far away.
That's true. However, the town that you met up with the merchant lord, from your location now, is probably about 2 days away. The woods where you saw the lights are probably about a day away. That would be on the trail.
I don't say anything about that.
Well then. So, do we stay here, or should we head off towards our, well, next quest? As far as I remember, we still need to check up on that woodcutter's camp up north.
Well, we're not getting anything from it.
Okay. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4.
People are strangely quiet today.
Okay, I thought Duke was saying something and his mic seemed to cut out mid-sentence, which is why I was waiting.
I was just saying that staying wouldn't really help anything.
True.
Let's hope nothing negative befalls the animals while we're gone.
Can we take like at least a couple of chickens or something?
No.
It's probably better not to antagonize the Raven Gods, Mr. Bill.
They started it, thank you very much.
True, but still, do you really think it's a good idea to antagonize them now?
And in their mind, you started it by having the bad fortune to be born into the entirely wrong race.
You're the entirely wrong race.
Cute.
I'll just shake my hand. But, anyway, we travel today or tomorrow then? The middle of the day. If we do, or if we are going to travel, we should get ready to leave soon.
As one more night.
Very well. If you need me, I'll be with the graveyard. And I'll pack up and leave again.
Is it possible after everyone goes to sleep, Mr. Billy Bob William would be allowed to like go and kill a chicken and then just go and cook it somewhere in the woods?
You know, if you're not careful, you do know chickens will scream like hell when you're killing them, right?
Yeah, killing a chicken's quite a loud business.
Yeah.
What if I killed it in the woods and then just cooked it in a pan? Like
Then
over
we'll
some
hear it
steaks on fire?
like screaming as you drag it into the woods. Chickens are
What if I
very
just
loud
picked it up?
creatures. Okay, I've had chickens, and if they don't want to be picked up, you can hear them from like a street away.
Yeah, chickens are loud.
In fact, when one of them lays an egg, you tend to know it's laid an egg because it just sits there barking at the top of its lungs.
Billy Bob, when would you be thinking about doing this?
Like 3 a.m.
No. So, are you thinking of having it for dinner, for example?
For breakfast, but like a really early breakfast before I go to sleep.
So, okay.
Early
As-
breakfast before sleep.
As the sun begins to set on the, I've just written it down, it's like on the 22nd, I'll give you this one. You can all see a group of people on the horizon. There's about 6 of them. They are all on massive horses, and they are charging at full speed to your location.
I would say goodbye to the dog, and I would leave the graveyard early in the
Are
morning.
they in Raven Guard colours?
This is not the morning. This is Azora came at 12 in the afternoon. This is about 9 o'clock at night. You would see, well, you may not see Lysiara, but anyone at the farming house would see 5 riders charging towards the farming community. Their horses are not like Azora's.
I'll roll perception, just to maybe see if I can see it.
You can see that, how many did I say? There was 5. There are 3 of them in full plate armour. It looks like the Raven Guard.
I just asked if they were in Raven Guard colours,
They
Oh,
are at a
the-
distance.
which is why I asked if they were in colours.
I'll bid the dog farewell and I'll return to the farm.
Back in
Oh, see,
medieval
the
times,
way-
colours of uniforms were very important back then. It's why lots of them were brightly coloured.
Oh, see, the way you worded it does not fill me with confidence that they are, in fact, the Raven Guard.
Well,
needs be,
only
I'll
one
roll.
of you has rolled perception to be able to see if they were. If
Maybe
you-
I'll roll a naughty one. Maybe.
I'm gonna fucking check as well.
Fortune favors the bold, I guess.
Miss Wilmhelmer,
Perception. I still need to roll as well.
you see 3 men in heavy plate armour. They appear to be on war steeds. Yeah, I think they're called war steeds. War horses, basically. And 2 people behind them, they appear to be on war horses as well. But they're in civilian garb. Mr. Azora, you would also note this.
My elven eyes see this as well.
If any of you gather outside, it takes them about 10 minutes to charge over to your position. The head knight calls out, still from a distance, "Hell, are you the warband that Brander sent?"
Indeed.
No, we're bandits.
As he says that, I just immediately just. Okay, you may arrest him if you want to, but
Nah,
Nice to
nah,
meet you.
don't bother arresting. We're just gonna, momentary blindness. It happens. You know how it is. A random goblin ambush. They just kill him and then scurry off.
It's
no
it's
seriousness
quite
since
alright.
we are the warband.
We were
Nice to meet you, good
informed.
sirs.
We were informed of this one. Bill, I think he said, he asked us to come because we're not Sterlingers. Anyway, we got your message. We've been riding throughout the night and all of today. We're quite tired, but we're here to relieve you. All the men look exhausted, and the horses are visibly sweating.
Okay, first let's just make sure you're feeling a bit better. I go and grab my keg. You people need to be given some relaxation.
Thank you, and he seems to think for a moment. Azen? No, Azur. We three Raven Knights do not drink whilst on duty. And I don't want the peasants drinking either. They have work to be done.
All right then.
But thank you kindly for the offer.
Hey, no problem.
And the knight directs his group to dismount, sort out the horses, and they begin checking the area and basically doing their job. A warm meal would be appreciated. He gestures to the two peasants. Take what you can from the store. Get us a meal and get some drinks ready for these people. Have you been helping yourselves to supplies here?
We had our own.
Then I'll have supplies to use.
Don't worry about that. You go kill us a sheep. We need to have a proper meal. By all means, you can all join us. You've been protecting this place. I would ask what happened here. He sees the corpses burnt in a pile. I'm too tired, and it is not what I was told to do, so inform Brander when you get back.
Such was our intent already, so yes.
You see the two labourers who look quite exhausted, but once they hear about taking what they want to set up a feast, they seem almost a new lease of life has been given to them, and they go about taking grains and wheats and different vegetables. You see one of them go over to the to where the animals are kept, and he pulls out a younger sheep, well, a lamb, and you hear a cry as the lamb is slaughtered, and within about 30 minutes he comes back with a skinned and butchered lamb, and the other peasant has gone into the house and prepared boiling water and vegetables, and he's even managed to find the
Can I help?
Sure, you can try and help. They also find the I can't even remember what it's called now, the storeroom where the alcohol's kept, and they break out a couple of bottles of wine and place it on the table.
Cooking is intelligence, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Do you have the trade skill?
Yeah, as a halfling, he either starts with cooking or farming.
Shit.
Don't worry about fating it. It will be a group roll, because there are another two peasants also cooking. It's not they seem to be professional labourers, farmers, and apparently quite adept at cooking. They raise your score up to a pass. And you all, as long as you wish, gather round. The knights begin some small talk with you. They don't inquire as to what's going on, but one of them does tell you, if you hurry back in the morrow, there will be a market day back at Sigfrihoft.
I doubt we'll be making it back in a single day, but
I believe I said it was the 23rd. Let me check. Yep, it's the 23rd. Today. Hang on. Yep, Azora went... Nope, the 21st, Azora went to the church. The 22nd, you guys... Nope, so the 22nd is today. You guys are waiting for the people from Sigfridhoft. They have arrived late at night, admittedly, or at night time. So if you leave on the 23rd, which is tomorrow, the market day starts on the 25th and lasts till the 26th. And there'll still possibly be some traders around on the 27th. So you have about 3 days before all the merchants are gone.
Well, then we should try to return to the town soon so that we can catch the market before it leaves.
As the knights hear what you're saying, that you might not get back there in time, two of them look at each other and turn to their captain, I suppose. Yeah, I suppose you can take two of our horses. The peasants will be remaining here. These horses need to be taken back. We would have done it once the rest of the peasants arrive anyway. It should speed up your travel time.
Thank you. We'll make sure they get back safely. Who should I return them to once we arrive?
If you leave them, if you take them to where Brander is, leave them outside his office. Some of the guards will take them from there.
I'll make sure to do that. Thank you. And then I guess they'll eat, drink, be merry throughout the night. The next day, I guess we start traveling.
Okay. In the morning, you see that the peasants appear to have woken up early, and damn you didn't group. They appear to have woken up early and are getting to work, doing basically what you were doing. And I believe it's Bill who does the driving. He seems quite impressed with the horses. And if there's nothing else, you all prepare to take off back to Sigfridhoft.
Yep. And we're leaving on the
23rd, I believe I said.
Okay. So I have 26 days left so I can finally bind the dog. Oh boy. Okay.
So, Bill doesn't seem quite sure with these horses as you take off, but as you are being pulled by 2 horses now, your travel time is reduced quite dramatically, as even with a failure, you reach the church in 1 day. You may all stay at the church and eat, so you do not need to remove a ration. And if no one has any complaints, we'll do another driving test.
Actually, are there any, well, not graveyards, but are any temples with graves in the city, in Siegfried Half? Or is this the closest place there is to?
There is a temple to Mor within Siegfriedhoft. You know the priest there, or you've met him. None of you have inquired if there is a grave site there. You could probably use a bit of intelligence to be, well, if there's a church, they might have graves there.
Yeah, I'm more thinking along the lines, if I can make a shrine to the dog in the city, it's easier than having to come to this church. But during the nighttime, I'll make a small shrine for the dog in here, just so he can have waypoints, I guess.
You would know that to perform a ritual, you still need some ingredients to actually...
Then never mind.
Nope, he's not accepting that. He will use a fate point to reroll. Actually... How many squares? One, two, three... Actually, he's not, because with the more horses that you have now, you can actually make it to Siegfriedhof from here. I did my maths wrong. So even with a failed score, your 2 war horses drive the group on, and by evening, by late afternoon, apologies, you come across another caravan. Can everyone make me perception tests, please? As you see in the distance, there is a caravan. The caravan has spotted you, approaching fast, and appears to be moving to the side of the road. Gabrielle, the cart that's being drawn, you can see that it has solid sides. It has 4 walls. You can see 2 small people and 2 small but very stout people at the side of the cart. As they see you, they begin moving very quickly into position. Oh well, we'll have to use the other horse now. I haven't sorted out that cart. If you'd all like to place your tokens around the horse and cart.
Where's the horse at? Oh, here.
I am on my own horse.
Yes, you will be on your horse, but for
Oh
the
no,
moment...
there's 2 of me.
Are we still in the fog? Should we still be in the fog?
I apologise. I think Yep, sorry. I didn't move your... I'm doing it for the stream. I'm moving that screen, but I didn't move your tokens along. Apologies. I am bad at this. Azor, you are on your horse. I just haven't changed it to the 2 war horses at the moment. As your group gets ready and dismounts and gets in front of the caravan and such to take up defensive positions, you hear a voice from the other caravan. Aye, you there! Do you be friends or foe? Take the wrong move and I'll blow your fucking heads off. Azor,
I will friends! Put that gun away, you silly man.
you hear a dwarf.
Where with the Raven Guard?
Oh, Are you now? Oh, it's all right, lads. No harm, no foul. Pack it up. You see the dwarf lower his rifle, and the other dwarf lowers his crossbow. You then hear another voice. Now can y'all be sure that they're safe? Those Raven Guard fellas, they don't take much liking to us halflings.
I'll just sort of, like, have
I
a
can
massive
attest
grin on
to
my
that,
face.
but we got our own with us, so I don't
Gabriel-
think he'd like us. If
Gabriel's
we
Don't worry.
anything else.
Even you won't like him.
Gabrielle's just looking at whoever said that, like, you're an idiot. Because she's looking at him. Then she's looking towards our halfling. Then she's looking
I'll
towards...
just shout, ignore that death's hand upon a mop stick.
You can all see as the dwarfs begin putting away their gear and stowing their equipment, a halfling woman comes into the middle of the road and looks down. Oh, the wrong accent. Now oh yeah, I'm still doing the wrong accent. Now I just want to, oh yeah, I can see y'all, by the Billy Bob. It can't be.
You mean you know him?
Do I like this person?
Billy Bob. This is the halfling known as Shan. Her family you know quite well, because they are the halfling family who supplies most of the tobacco, who grows most of the tobacco in the moot. Billy Bob, it's
You don't
been
know
a
this, lads.
while.
Wait, is this when we learn that you were supposed to get married, but you chickened and run away during the caravan?
What? I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't chicken, I just postponed.
Knew it!
Wait, would she actually like me though if my family was a little bit like, he's the weird child?
You'd be amazed.
So you, Billy Bob, you would know from a fact, halflings don't leave the moot. If this halfling is here, she's a trader, or she left the moot of her own accord. So she would also be, even traders who leave the moot are seen as a bit odd, because they leave the comfortable, quiet life to go off and see the world.
Hey up, you're looking different from when I last saw you.
Now I may have put on a few pounds, but what can I say? Business is booming.
I'll just sort of like awkwardly stop and be like, shit, I didn't mean to insult her, but then just continue and like, yeah, fuck it.
No, you would see that she has a smile on her face. She doesn't. She pointed out herself. But I didn't expect to see you out here. Are y'all working in this area? Wait,
And
are
then
you
I'll,
with
like,
them? Are you with the
awkwardly
Raven
stop.
Guard?
I know, hard to believe.
I'll just sort of like have a really pissed off look at my face, but like looking down it to the side as if to like over my soldier.
No, you sent him off to the moot, remember?
No, over my shoulder. Sorry.
I go sit slightly more relaxed on my horse, just kind of slightly back, leaning with my arms in front of me, just looking at this and with a smile on my face, like, curious.
Well,
Did she say anything about me being pissed off?
No. Well,
In-
it's
in
good to
his
see a friendly
defense-
face.
In his defense, the commander tricked him to do it, which we still cannot forgive him for.
Y'all were tricked into. To be honest,
No,
Billy Bob,
just him.
we thought
It's him. It's him.
we thought y'all had become a floater or something. You know, we haven't heard from you in a while.
What?
Floater.
Okay,
The heck
Gabrielle.
does that mean?
Gabrielle, you would know a floater is a term for a body floating in a river. It's a common slang word used by Sterlingers and by
Ooh.
association, the moot.
I like that. I like that slang. I very much like that slang.
We all assumed you were dead. Lovely.
If he's not careful with how he acts around some of the guards, and if he doesn't stop pissing in the streets, he might end up being that way purely because he offends half the town.
What are you talking about? Most people piss in the streets. That's just
They'll sort of
normal.
laugh and then keep walking.
In the front of a tavern, however, quite possibly on the steps.
I give up.
Okay, you halflings are weird people.
Is
It's
I'm
on the
something
not
half
grass,
different?
though.
I'm sorry, y'all, but don't you know that you piss anywhere? Unless Siegfried is some sort of bastion
No.
of cleanliness, then most taverns you piss outside of them. It's normal.
Pest outhouses.
They have outhouse. Ooh, fancy. Now that's
They're all
that's
just a
worth a
bunch of
bob or
tossers,
two.
ignore 'em.
Essentially, the rule is because they have outhouses, you don't piss in the street because it doesn't leave that good of a smell.
No, that's fair enough. In for a penny, in for a crown, I guess. Yeah, no, I can see why they might have been a bit annoyed at you, Billy Bob. She starts laughing.
Well, at least she's capable of simple deduction. That's already points.
Oh, I'm sorry. We thought you might be raiders or something, so we took up a defensive position.
It
Jono,
could be more fun if we were.
Jono, we can. Looks like we can get moving now.
Have there been raiders nearby recently?
Well, the roads aren't exactly safe all the time, so it's better to take precautions. It's what the
Yeah.
Dowie said. He said it'd be better if we poured over rather than trying to, shoot on the run. He said they had a better shot if we fortified. Is that right? Aye, that'd be right, lassie.
What are you selling?
Tobacco.
Don't tell them.
Well, it's
Uh.
what my family sells. You know that.
Okay. Well, I guess we're gonna have to wait until we get back to town. Is there your dwarven friend? He didn't happen to have, I know, a giant axe for sale, did he?
I am pretty sure he has.
Good.
Well, I guess, we can travel together if you like. Safer in numbers. And we're not that far off anyway.
Aye.
I'll keep away the cutthroats.
And the potential is Walking Dead.
Hey.
Lovely countryside.
Oh, and the goblins. Oh wait, that one's not real.
I'm
I
pretty
also
sure goblins exist.
Yeah, but that wasn't like, you know what I mean.
Yes, I know.
I also move my horse a bit closer to the dwarves and say, "You'll also be really excited. Sikriov has another dwarf in it, and it's almost Kekzan."
We were hoping to settle down in Siegfriedhof, if we can talk the little ones here into letting us. We'd quite like to celebrate, not on the road, you know.
Aye, I know the feeling. It's kind of a... Well, it's not the best feeling having to celebrate Kekzan when you're on the road and you only have a single keg.
Especially if it breaks at keg.
I'll just casually climb into their cart and just sit with them.
Yep, the two halflings make room for you to sit at the front where one of them is driving, and you engage in some pleasant conversation with your kinsman.
I'll probably start it off by just saying they're all just a bunch of bellends. Just fucking ignore them.
I'm just riding beside them on my horse talking to the dwarves.
The two dwarfs are sat. There's a lower part on the back of the so the cart that they're in. It's a reinforced cart with 4 walls and a ceiling. You can see that there's a hatch that goes over the front. The dwarfs will tell you there's iron bars behind there, and at the back there's a step, a couple of steps actually, so that the halflings can get down to the floor. And there's a big reinforced door at the back. The dwarf with the rifle is sat at the back. So as you're riding Azora, he's talking to you, facing you.
I was gonna say, considering this has got a roof, would it not be better? Would it not be like a coach or something?
It's not a coach. It's clearly been a cart that has been reinforced and made stronger. It doesn't have the luxuries or the speed or the suspension of a coach. It's basically a mobile shop, and as you all gather round and begin travelling in a group, you make your way to Siegfriedhoft. At the walls of Siegfriedhoft, you see there are quite a few traders lining up with carts and stalls, trying to get into the city, into the town before the market day ends. Your new travelling companions say goodbye to you as you get to the gates. They inform you that they need to pay their taxes to trade with the town, but they will see you shortly. They have a space in the centre of town.
Would it be possible to offer my services and then claim that it was my trade? Just to avoid the tax?
They have to pay the tax because they're travelling merchants. All travelling merchants will pay the tax. It's a lot lower than the taxes that are paid for shops that are permanently in the town. It's to get travelling merchants to bring their goods to the town. Your Raven Guard sigil won't help them there. The dwarfs in particular, Azora, tell you that they will go and see this dwarf in town, and they hope that they'll be able to make enough money here to be able to stay for Keg's End. As you all make your way in, you would note that in the slums there are peasants who have laid out really raggedy cloths on the floor, and they have some very poor trinkets and poor daggers and just general goods, but they're all of poor quality. As you go into the more middle of the town, where the normal houses are, things aren't quite as slummy. You can see that they're nicer. They're far nicer blankets on the floor and better goods, and they're all of common quality. Whereas in the centre of town, you see that there is bustling. There are merchants set up with different stalls selling different goods, and as you make your way into the centre of town, you also note something is up. The Raven Guard knights are in the centre of town, and one of them is calling out numbers, and then along with the number, a name, and that they are deceased.
Can we take a short break?
Yeah, sure, we can do that.
Right.
We will take a 5-minute break.
That's good with me.
They are a thing that exists.
Hello and welcome back from our very short break. I believe we are ready to carry on. So as you make your way to the centre, you can see a lot of adults who are weeping and crying. There's a large number of children who appear to be just devastated. Some of them seem to be clinging on to some hope, but as you approach, another name is called along with a number, and deceased, and more children begin to cry.
Is this man in blue, which I'm standing right next
Boris.
to over here? Is that Boris?
That is Boris.
Oh!
That's
Isn't
the apprentice
Boris
mage. Yes, the apprentice mage.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll approach him and good evening, Boris. What seems to be this commotion? What happened?
The casualty reports. Those who were wounded but succumbed to their injuries. Many have died. It's a sad day, I'm afraid. Although it should be a happy one for the merchants, at least. Boris looks really upset. He looks like he is suffering internally, looking at the people who are upset, and he is focusing on the children who are currently just trying. Some of them are trying to console each other, and others aren't. And you see him. He kind of. Excuse me. I need to. He goes over to the children, and you can see him talking to them, words of comfort, reassurance.
I'm actually gonna do a magical sense on the area around Boris, because last time I saw him was kind of trying to bribe me.
Not bribe, but perform an exchange of goods.
Billy Bob won't be paying attention, and then as he walks up, he'll be like, "Who died?" And then like someone else shouts them out, and he'll be like, "Oh."
So
moment
what
you-
exactly are you looking for, Lycia? Are you trying to see if he has a grimoire, or if he has...
I'm trying to check if his magical aura changed drastically.
No,
somehow?
it hasn't. Magically, he seems to be exactly the same as the last time you used your magical abilities and saw him, probably near the shop or in the shop. He doesn't. You can look at him and you don't see a thick tome around his waist or on his person.
Okay, I'm just checking up on him because I was a little worried because last time he offered me, how much was it?
1,200 gold.
For a necromancer's grimoire, exactly. So, just checking up on him. I'll look towards where the people are shouting people who died in casualty. I'm just gonna make a small sign of prayer to Isha, and move back to the group.
You would. No, I tell you what. We'll leave that bit for next time. As you all approach in your with your two war horses, and Azora, you're on your riding horse. One of the knights goes over to you. He tells you that he'll take the horses and put them by where they need to go, and that if you would like to inform Branda of what you found.
Alright.
Once
I'll
this
go
is
do that then.
complete, that I'm going to be devoting time and mute songs to these people. And Gabrielle will Gabrielle will stand there until every name is called.
Yep. Okay. I'll probably say you can do that next time, because it will be quite a lot of names are going to be called.
Even if it's not like all the names said, it's just Gabrielle is going to try and make songs about these people. They need to be immortalized.
Okay. Are you all going in to see Brander and inform him?
Nah.
Yeah, sorry, I
I'm
will.
gonna be going. First to the Brander, then to the blacksmith.
Yeah, I'll go to Brenda and then I'll find the church and try to see if there is a place where I can make a small shrine.
Azor, are you going in to see Brander?
Yes.
I'm just pulling your characters over to one side, just so I know who's going in and who isn't. Billy Bob, did you say you were going to go in?
Probably, even if it's just to be spiteful.
Okay, so basically I'll say that you're all going to go in and speak to Brander then. I don't need to move you all. So you all walk down the corridor. The Raven Guard Knights seem very, very down as they're calling out these names. You can even see one of them is almost fighting back tears. But you somberly walk down the corridor and knock on Brander's door. Enter, please. You open the door and you see Brander. His eyes are red. He is looking over documents. He has a long quill in his hand and is writing down notes. He doesn't look up as you enter. Have we got more names for the list? I'm just about done with the last.
Oh,
Depends on if the list is just for soldiers, but
Pardon me. He puts down his quill. Yes, soldiers, scribes, and enlisted personnel. I'm afraid. By the way, thank you, Azor, for informing the priest and getting the note, getting the message to me as soon as you could. I hope my men got there in good speed.
they did.
Pardon me asking, but what happened, Brenner? Was there a raid or?
Oh, no. These are the men who were lost in the battle. Not lost. I told you a while ago that we'd lost a lot of men. Well, unfortunately, when we were transporting the wounded back, many of them succumbed to their injuries, and well, they arrived yesterday. Balthazar and Peter have been doing their best, but we lost more. So the townspeople have been informed of loved ones who have passed.
I see.
But of course, come now. Your mission. How did it go? The note was brief, so not many details were given.
Yes. Well, let's start off with the beginning. First of all, there was no goblin attack. When we arrived at the farmstead, the elder was almost outwardly hostile to us. So we decided to just go check out the scene of, well, the attack as it was reported. What we found did not indicate the work of goblins, but the work of men. There were dead animals left behind. The the indications of the weapon attacks were by weapons too refined to be of goblin or orc make.
Was this another bandit attack then?
No. We also nearby noticed a small graveyard from which came shouting. We made our way over there to find it I believe it was was it a priest or was it just a grave tender? I do not know.
I don't think he was a priest.
Anyways, we saw him being attacked by the spirit of a dog. And Lysiara here could communicate with it.
I'll
We'd
sort of just
already-
awkwardly look over at Lysiara.
We had already deduced that it was the work of men that had set the farm alight and killed its inhabitants.
The inhabitants
What the dog-
that were, as far as we can tell, family members. The father was Raven Guard, died long before that. The grave had a raven symbol on it. The mother and daughter were killed just because they were red-headed.
The farm was destroyed merely because, well, they used a new method for farming, as far as I was told. The elder could not accept that their yields were greater than his. He thought he was going to lose everything, and upon inspection of his storage house, it was already full of crop, but his own fields were not yet harvested. This was our first inkling that they might have been the culprits. The vengeance spirit in question, the dog, was able to communicate with the Ciara, and they did indeed communicate to us that the people of the other farm had committed this atrocity. Out of greed, position. Their reasons no longer truly matter, but we could not stop the spirit as it had slaughtered all the others in the farmstead for their act.
Well, as a vengeful spirit that watched his loved ones die because of greed and, well, superstition, he went after those that were guilty of killing his loved ones.
We would have arrested them otherwise and brought them to you for judgment.
Are y'all telling me that the village elder killed Jackson's family?
Yes.
Apology. Jackson was the husband. He was a good man, a member of the Raven Guard. I fought alongside him. His wife and child, their family dog it's from my house. The Caligos have raised warhounds for a long time. Loyal and dependable. I gave Jackson that dog when he
And its loyalty came through even in death.
I can't believe this. That old Buy more. Thank you all for bringing me this information. Honestly, I would have preferred to have someone to question.
There were no survivors.
I'll have to speak to Balthazar about, and perhaps Magus about the spirit. I can't have it terrorizing the area.
The spirit will not pose no danger to any innocent. I've been of it. It was just avenging his family. He's not an evil spirit, just, well, a sad spirit.
I'll speak to Balthazar about that. He has a way of explaining these things to me. Branda looks devastated at this news.
I'm sorry this news was come to you at a time that already invoked sadness.
No, by all means, I don't shoot the messenger. It's thank you all for bringing me, for looking into this for me. Damn it. I'd always had suspicions about that old codger. That's why I gave Jackson that land. Damn it. Where am I? Again, apologies. I owe you some payment. Let me have a look here. He pulls out a parchment from his desk and a bag of coins, a large bag of coins. Well, y'all found something, so I believe that was here. He places 20 gold coins in front of each of you. Thank you for doing this. I'll get people out there as soon as possible. I should have sent people to protect them, to make sure. Damn it. Well, yes, I won't keep you any longer. Thank you for that. You've done me a great service. I will ensure that the proper rites and things are performed. I'll have to speak to the Magus about it. Once y'all are rested and set, you can take on the other mission at your nearest convenience. By all means, I don't expect you to miss out on Market Day. It's normally more joyous than this, but given the circumstances, I'm sure y'all can find some useful equipment out there at the very least. Again, thank y'all for doing that. Branda seems almost lost. As you can tell, he keeps repeating himself.
Alicia will make a small bow and she'll leave him to his thoughts.
Azerif, upon seeing this, will do the same.
Respectfully nod and leave.
As you all respectfully nod and leave, Branda almost doesn't notice. He seems to be completely lost in thought as you all make your way out of the building.
Well, I'll be heading towards the temple.
I have some purchases to make.
As you all leave the Raven Guard headquarters, you would all see Balthazar with the children. He's kneeling down, and Lysiara.
Yep.
You hear arcane words as Balthazar makes hand gestures.
Balthazar or Boris?
Sorry, Boris. Wrong name.
Who,
now.
actually,
As
who's Balthazar?
Balthazar's the mage. Or have I got
Isn't
his
the
name
name
right?
of the mage? Yeah, the name of the mage is Beliarius.
Beliaris, yeah.
Bollocks.
Who cares? His name's Balthazar now.
No, it will be Beliaris. I must have
I
read
mean,
it wrong.
Bill became Ted, so...
No, it's because I can't read names properly. dyslexic, so I've written a name down which I've never written down before, and that's probably why Beliaris. You see Boris making words, speaking arcane words and doing hand gestures.
Well,
You
actually, he's
see
speaking.
lights appear. These lights then morph and turn into butterflies with rainbow wings and a golden light. They begin fluttering around the children, and you would all note the children who were crying and sad, and a look of wonderment and excitement fills their eyes, and smiles appear. You see Boris look extremely happy, and then dread appears on his face as beside him there is a flash of flames. His look of dread turns to absolute fear as his face goes white, as beside him appears a demonic imp.
Oh, come on, Boris. Tell me you didn't.
He turns and sees the creature lunge out, but abject terror, shock and fear are nothing compared to the look on his face as the demon imp does not go for him. It lunges at a small child.
I'm gonna
Okay,
dies.
throwing my fucking sword, charging
You're
in.
all too far away. And
I
you're-
was
you're
already
all-
there.
no, you've all left the Raven Guard building. You are all positioned around here. You can't charge through people.
Yes, I was stood there listening to the announcement.
I did say
remember?
you all went inside. You didn't say when I said, "Oh, so you're all going inside then?" So I
He
don't
said
need to
no.
move you all.
I said before though this, I was staying there.
He said no.
I
so-
said I was standing there listening to all the names. Remember? I assumed you weren't referring to me when you said that everyone was going in,
Well,
because I'd already said.
Well, then please place your token on the map, but none of you can do anything about this. The creature lunges for the child. You see Boris struggle to move in the way, but he is too large and too slow. You hear a scream of a child, and blood sprays through the air.
I still
And
try
the
to
demon
move my way through the crowd.
disappears. A scream erupts from the crowd as people turn round and see a child bleeding, a slash across her front, deep. Blood sprays everywhere as Boris grabs hold of the child and falls to his knees.
Can I try to, if the kid is still alive, can I approach the kid and cauterize the wound to stop the bleeding?
The child dies within an instant. The attack was brutal, deep, and the child dies. Screams erupt from the crowd as they see blood. They still see these magical lights and butterflies. The Raven Guard move to find out what's gone on as you hear Boris shout out, "No! This cannot be! Beliaris, help me! Please! Save her! No! No!" There is a flash of light as you see a mage appear. Sorry, it was Belfasar, wasn't it? Not Beliaris. As Belfasar appears, he looks at the child and he knows there is nothing he can do. The children run screaming as blood begins to seep down the fountain.
Well then.
Well,
So I have to be going soon, like in a few minutes.
And that is where we end the episode. As
I
you
just
all see
turned to
people
the
screaming,
tiara, yeah.
and you see the mage look utterly distraught as blood sprays everywhere.
God damn it, Boris.
This is where I dislike magic.
This is why you never. This is why I never performed magic that can cause stuff like this. Azareth. Before we end the session, can I do a magical sense?
Sure. I told you, Boris is unlucky. He has no luck. He is cursed.
So there is no other magical aura other than myself, Boris, and Balthazar / Beliarius.
Yeah, they're the only magical presence. You would probably, it's within seconds, you'd probably still see the faint signs of a demonic entity. But apart from that, there is no other magical presence anywhere.
God damn it, Boris.
Edit.
I guess we'll find out what happens next session then. But god damn it.
See ya.
Good night.
See you, dude.
But yeah, the reason I didn't speak up this was because I assumed that you remembered that I had actually already stated. I'm listening to it because I was trying to be like, yeah, she's getting all the names here. Not even going to go hand over that thing. Like, Gabrielle would have waited until all the names had been done before the meeting would have happened.
No, that's fair enough. But when I say, or when you hear, oh, so you're all going, make sure your voice is heard. And no, I'm staying. Because that's why I was moving, and I didn't see your token, so I assumed, okay, right, I've moved those guys there, so they're going in. And when I said, is everyone going in? And even Billy Bob went, it without hearing, no, I am still staying outside. It made me think that, yeah, everyone's going to go in and report and get their money.
But yeah, see ya. Go get some homework done.
There we go. Now he's Beliaris, and he's spelt as. I'm probably going to forget that as well, but yeah.
Hey, we can just keep him as Balthazar too. It doesn't. Goddamn these scripted events.
Thank you very much, everyone, for joining the stream. I almost forgot it was running for a second there, so thank you for commenting, watching, and I hope to see you next time. So take care and goodbye.